So Prime Minister is now heading towards the Sudarshan Setu. As you can see, this has been Prime Minister Modi's one of his dream projects. This is going to be 2.32 kilometers long cable stage bridge, the longest one gifted to India by Prime Minister Modi there in Gujarat. As you can see that he is waving his hand towards the people who came there to watch their Prime Minister inaugurating this Sudarshan Setu as well. Remember, as I said, that this is the longest cable stage bridge that the Gujarat has got from Prime Minister Modi. It's going to be connecting Okha with Beyt Dwarka. Remember, we earlier saw Prime Minister Modi doing Puja Archana at Beyt Dwarka temple also. Let's talk a little bit about the significance of this Beyt Dwarka temple and the nomenclature that it has got. It is also known as Shankodhar. It's said to have been the residence of Lord Krishna during his ruling years at Dwarka, where Prime Minister Modi will next be going to. It derived its name from the word Beyt, which means gift in Hindi, and is believed that Lord Krishna actually received it from his friend Sudama. Hence, the name was Beyt Dwarka. Now at Beyt Dwarka, which is at an island where initially you used to take a ferry or a boat to reach the temple to do puja archana. Now it has got a longest cable stayed bridge of India, which is 2.32 kilometers long by Prime Minister Modi. He recently just inaugurated that bridge. It's one of his dream projects. Not only this particular bridge that we are talking about, Prime Minister Modi will be giving a slew of projects to Gujarat in his 2-day visit to Gujarat. Remember, yesterday we saw this massive road show which was held for Prime Minister Modi from Jamnagar airport, with people chanting Modi, Modi and Bharat Mata Ki Jai filling the air. At one point, he even stepped out of his vehicle to wave at his supporters also. Prime Minister Modi stayed at Jamnagar Circuit House for the night, and today, as you saw, that he first did Puja Archana at Beyt Dwarka, then he inaugurated this cable stayed bridge known as Sudarshan Setu, which has been Prime Minister Modi's dream projects. It will connect Okha with Beyt Dwarka. So initially, when you used to take a ferry or boat to reach temple, now you can actually go by road from Okha to Beyt Dwarka directly, and you can do Puja Archana there. It has been Prime Minister Modi's one of his dream projects. In fact, now next he will be heading towards Dwarka to do Puja Archana there as well. Can be seen as Prime Minister Modi's special push towards the spiritual sector, apart from the vikas that he will be bringing to the state of Gujarat in his 2-day visit. We have CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh joining us on the broadcast to bring us more details about what's there in Prime Minister Modi's schedule. Pallavi, over to you.
Yeah, so Sudarshan Setu, and as the pictures are already showing out, actually, it is a blend of modernity as well as Indian religious and traditional beliefs. In fact, one of the main features that we were told about is a footpath which has verses from the Gita, from the Bhagavad Gita, which just goes on to show the importance it is giving to our tradition and the religious beliefs. But it's also modernity, it's got those solar panels, and it's also going to be connecting and make it easy for those who want to make that religious trip and that spiritual sector. From the Okha mainland to the Mandir. This is what the Sudarshan Setu is going to be connecting. What we were told is that earlier it was not an easy journey that people would have to make. They would have to go by boat, they have to cross the river. But now with this Setu, this problem is going to be solved. But again, as we were talking about earlier, Sakshi, it's not just about the spiritual sector as you were talking about. It's also about bringing development. So from the first aims coming up in Gujarat, then a big push to the infrastructural development, multiple crores of projects which are going to be unveiled by the Prime Minister. But immediately from the Sudarshan Setu, he will be going, of course, offering prayers at the Dwarkadish Mandir.
Definitely, Pallavi. And we'll talk about the specifications of this 2.32 kilometers long, the longest cable stage bridge of India that Prime Minister Modi has just gifted to the state of Gujarat. But let's also talk about the kind of push Prime Minister Modi will be giving to the medical sector also, because we believe that 5 new aims are going to be introduced by Prime Minister Modi.
Yes, the first of them, of course, in Gujarat, but many of them are in other states as well, but which is going to, of course, be done through remote control. Again, the same point. I mean, while he has made it a habit now of blending Vikas as well as Astha. Even when we saw it earlier in Ayodhya, the days when he used to go and unveil those projects, anything connected with the corridor of Ayodhya or Kashi Vishwanath, he would also make it a point to ensure, and even just recently we saw that in Banaras, where the Banasari milk production plant of the Amul was also set up there. So the point is, of course, that we also need to bring about development, just talking about religious beliefs. And I think this is also an attempt to blunt the criticism which comes in from the opposition parties, particularly from Rahul Gandhi, that the Prime Minister uses religion to divert attention from core development issues. This is his way of rebutting those claims where he says that I may be going in unveiling projects, for example, the Sudarshan Setu or the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir or the Ram Mandir, but I've also made it a point to ensure that there is development because of it. I mean, saw the example of the Ram Mandir. I mean, hotels coming up and, for the people who are around the Ram Mandir, there are job opportunities which come up. Now, with the Sudarshan Setu, for example, which is going to be connecting the Okha mainland with the Beyt Dwarka Mandir, it's going to make life easier, not just for the devotees, actually, but also for all of those who are involved in ancillary industries, which is going to be centered around the Beyt Dwarka Mandir. So that's the point he's going to be making. Several aims being inaugurated, a big push to the health infrastructure facilities in Gujarat.
Definitely, Pallavi. And in fact, we have been talking about this particular matter from past couple of months, that this is Prime Minister Modi's USP, that he is giving a special push to the spiritual sector. But not only that particular sector, he has been giving a special push to the infrastructural development as well. Apart from that, we have been seeing Prime Minister Modi constantly traveling. We saw him in Uttar Pradesh giving out several projects to that state. Now he's in Gujarat. Next he will be going to somewhere else. What kind of specifications, if we were to talk about BJP's strategy in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, is going to be, if we were to look at his special push towards spiritual sector and the infrastructural projects as well?
So I think it's just a formality now, Sakshi. When the dates are going to be announced, I think by the second week of March, we can expect the schedule for the Lok Sabha elections to be announced. But it's very clear that before the model code of conduct sets in, the Prime Minister is wanting to ensure that development projects are unveiled. But this is just a promise of more coming up in future. I mean, whenever the Prime Minister has been addressing rallies, and he's going to do one today, he's been making the point that, we're a third term baki hai, and there's a lot of unfinished tasks which I have to fulfill in my third term. And it's a work in progress. It's a continuity which is going to be maintained. So I'm going to come back to power the third time round. The development you've seen in the last 10 years is just going to be carried forward. I think that's the larger message that he's definitely going to try and send. You're right. I mean, when he talks about the push in the spiritual sector, politically speaking, I would also say that it is the core vote bank of the BJP. The Ram Mandir is something which the BJP is convinced can really work in his favor, not in north, but also down south as well. But even when he's been traveling to south, when he went to a Ram Setu, when he went to Dhanush Kori, again, there were development projects which were unveiled by him there also. So he says, I'm not just going to focus on religion. I'm not going to say that there's going to be no development. Wherever the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir or the Banaras or the Ram Mandir has come up, again, the same example has been given up. The people who live in and around that area, there have been development which is taking place. More job opportunities, shops coming up, hotels coming up, tourism gets a boost. These are the important key takeaways from the Prime Minister's visits, which I think is going to increase in the next couple of days.
Definitely. And Pallavi, now let's also talk about the 21 projects of ESIC that Prime Minister will be giving to the nation. Would you like to talk about that as well?
So, the thing is that the health push, Ayushman Bharat, where the health facilities goes down to the lowest of the low, where medical facilities are easily accessible and they are also available at a reasonable rate. Medicines, for example, the Jan Aushadhi scheme that he talks about, where otherwise expensive medicines or medicines which may be very difficult to be accessible to the downtrodden, the poor. That is a part of this scheme of the government, is that this is basic medicines which are going to be made available to all. And therefore, unveiling of the first AIIMS, state-of-the-art hospital in Gujarat, is not a mean task. Similar 4 other AIIMS are also going to be inaugurated by him in other parts of the country as well, but that is going to be through remote control. Again, the same point is that what was denied to the people, what are the basic responsibilities of any government, that is something his government is going to be focusing on.
Definitely, Pallavi. Thank you so much for bringing us all those crucial details. We'll keep coming back to you for more developments within the same story.